Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider, let me look at the name, I'm gonna get it wrong if I don't, Masked Rider AGITO Trinity form, and the reason I had to look at the name is because I know almost literally zero about Kamen Rider, but you guys keep asking me to review them, so I picked one that looked pretty cool. And I think this thing looks awesome, character design-wise. We're going to see if the figure is actually any good. I have a hunch that it is. But you guys asked for a Kamen Rider, so here it is. Hopefully it's one that you care about or are interested in, or at least think looks cool. I have no idea. But here it is. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's the same kind of package as the recent Ultraman figures that I've been reviewing. So we've got the full-on box with the print on the front, no windows. Chrome lettering on the side, very nice. Some photos on the back, better photos than the Ultraman ones, because those are all black and hard to see. This guy has white trays on the inside, just in case you're curious. Not that it really matters, I suppose, because you're not going to display it this way, but his white trays look really nice up against his colors, his color scheme, especially the underneath tray with the accessories. Looks pretty cool. Decent packaging, not a window though, so be aware of that for you on-card collectors. Okay, let's check the height. To his head, it's about 15 centimeters. To the top of the thingies, it's closer to 15.75. That's going to make him roughly, we'll call it 5 7/8 and then 6 1/4, roughly. Here he is up against Darwin, so you can see he's not, at least he's not Marvel Legends scale. He's probably true 1/12 scale if I had to guess. I don't know the actor's height, the suit actor's height, but that looks like a true 1/12 scale to me. Alright, question of the day. We'll do two. First question is, do you think this guy looks cool? Just flat out, if you don't know anything about Kamen Rider, you can still answer this. And for those of you who do know Kamen Rider, is this a good one? Did I do good? Did I pick a good one? I have no idea, but I do think it looks cool. Just a quick note, if you do happen to like this guy and want to get it by the end of the video, there is a link in the description below for you to check it out at Big Bad Toy Store. Okay, so let's get into the aesthetic. I love the fact that his main suit is a flat paint job. Well, I should say matte. It's matte finish, it's not flat. So I like that a whole bunch. Then we have the various lusters of the different pieces. The blue and red seem extra glossy, and then the gold and silver are metallic. The gold more glossy than the silver. The silver's kind of like a satin finish. All together, it comes together very, very nicely. That was a great sentence. All together, it comes together. It sounds like a rhyme. Very, very well executed. The attention to detail is just sublime. It looks so nice. I mean, it's not a super intricate figure, but what's there is really clean. And then the belt, you start to see some of that transparent plastic over the interior details. That looks really good. It's very, very well done. Same thing in the chest. There's some stuff going on inside that transparent plastic. That's cool. And then we'll just look at the face again. The bug eyes, if you want to call them that. Excellently executed. So well done. And I love the mouthpiece. It's just such a clean figure. It's simple, relatively speaking, but it is clean. It looks so dang good. The back of the suit is obviously less detailed, but what is supposed to be painted and colored is. Aesthetically, I don't think you could do much better than this other than to throw some shading on it, so like 9.5? 9.5. It's really clean. I love the way this looks. Alright, as for accessories, we do have an alternate head with a different, let's call it a crown piece. We have a whole slew of hands, so everything you would need there. As for weapons, we have his spear staff thingy, which is really well done. There's all kinds of awesome details on there. You get his sword, which looks pretty darn cool. Even more details on there. That's awesome. And you get an alternate hilt. I imagine that goes with the helmet. That's pretty good. So, not the absolute most accessories, but an alternate head, a few different weapons, and a whole bunch of hands. I think short of a display stand, that's probably all you really need. Do these guys need like blast effects or swooshes or lasers or explosions or anything like that? I don't know. I imagine there's at least a fair bit of those sorts of things, but maybe this guy doesn't need it. Maybe just like a sword effect. Anyway, a display stand would really be sufficient because he's got a lot of other stuff. Okay, let's talk about, oh, I didn't give it a rating. Did I give it a rating? I didn't. 9 out of 10. That's pretty good spread of accessories, and the detail is just phenomenal. Okay, articulation time. It's a pretty basic figure, but let's see what Bandai could pack into it, because lately they've been kind of dropping the ball on some of their releases. So I'm happy to report We do have ball pegs in the neck, so that's very good. Let's see how functional it actually is. And I think that's as functional as you could expect it to be. I mean, he does have plastic helmet on top of a plastic collar, but you should be able to do whatever you want. You get all those nuanced poses, looks up pretty well, looks down well enough. I think that's going to be just fine. For the shoulder, we have a big, it's a ball peg with a sculpted cap is what it looks like. It's going to be hard for you to see. I'll try to show you. Can we get in there? You can kind of see the sculpted cap. That just moves around. That's a floating piece. The whole thing moves around with a ball peg. It's pretty basic. Just a ball peg going into the torso. So that lets the entire shoulder move around like that. And then, of course, you get your full rotation. You can raise the arm up better than horizontal, even with the shoulder pad. So that's pretty good. And the reason that works is the shoulder pad has a hinge on its own. And I think a ball peg, yeah. So it sucks into the shoulder like that if you want it. And then it also pulls out and it moves all around. So that will not get in the way of the shoulder at all. That is about as well as that can be executed. I don't think you could do much better than that. Very well done. This side is the same thing. The shoulder pad is obviously a little bit more intrusive. It'll hit him in the head, but I mean, that's just the character design, but it's designed the same way as far as the articulation goes. You do get your bicep swivel, double jointed elbow with extra good range. Nothing too ugly going on there either, so that is perfectly fine. Little ball hinges for the wrist, that's pretty much standard. For the torso, it feels like there's a hinge in there, or at least an offset double ball peg, so you can lift him up to do a little bit of bending. He doesn't bend that far forward just because of his big belt, but it does bend forward, and leaning back, it's not the best, but it's probably good enough. And then side to side, it's actually really well done. That's really nice. And then as far as rotation goes, that's mostly going to happen at the waist. Belt is floaty, and you can rotate it at the torso as well. Now remember, these are meant to look like guys in suits, so Bandai's not aiming at super hyper articulation. They're trying to recreate the realism, and I think that's enough functionality. Like, yeah, it could be better, but I think that's about as good as you're going to get without doing anything crazy. For the hips, it's fairly standard for Kamen Rider figures to have this kind of hip. I happen to really like it. You don't get the full-on splits, unfortunately, on this guy. I would prefer that, but they are very natural looking, those hips. I like them a bunch. Bringing the leg forward works no problem. Again, not anything crazy. It's just to horizontal, but it does function. And going back, it is some range, but not a whole lot. Thigh swivel is just your standard thigh swivel. It's decent. And then for your knees, pretty good range. Proportioning is close enough to being okay for me. And then for the ankle, I really like the ankle. You get the hinge that goes forward and back, and they have pretty good range on that. It rotates around. I don't know if you would really need that, but you have more of a traditional ankle rocker, almost like the Toy Biz Marvel Legends, which I love because it's super functional. You get a perfect bend there without any crazy angles. So is it the most articulated thing in the world? Definitely not. Is it going to be good enough? I would say for sure. What's there is done pretty darn well. It's nothing over the top, it's nothing crazy, but it is certainly functional and serviceable. So I would give this guy's articulation, considering that it looks really good and functions well enough, 8 out of 10. There's nothing that really stands out to me as being a problem other than it could be better. But there's nothing that's actually bad about it. Nothing that I'm remembering right now anyway. So, time for the final verdict. I think this is a really cool release. If you like the way it looks, it comes with good accessories, it comes with good articulation, it comes with a good finish. You can't really go wrong with this. There is a link in the description below if you guys are interested in this sort of thing. I can't say there's anything that bothers me about this at all. It is really, really well done. I guess I would prefer slightly better proportioning on the legs, but it's still fine. So I'm gonna give it an overall rating of 9 out of 10. It's not absolutely perfect. The articulation isn't as good as it could be, but it is a darn good figure. This is what action figures should be when they cost this much and come from Bandai. They aren't always this good, so that's why I have to point that out. But this one is, for sure. I recommend it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.